Hi, this is Stan Matthews, host of the Matthews TV broadcast and founder of the Inner Circle Professional Network. It takes a village to raise a child and a community to build healthy, wealthy businesses, professional practices, and community organizations. The Matthews TV broadcast enables urban consumers like you to support urban business owners, professionals, nonprofits, and community organizations that provide career opportunities, create jobs, and make urban communities great places to live, work, and raise a family. So please continue to watch the Whole Person, Whole Community broadcast on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. at www.thematthewsbroadcast.com. And oh yeah, tell 10 friends to watch the broadcast too. Heartfelt thanks for your continued friendship and support. The Matthews TV broadcast spotlights urban business owners, professionals, nonprofits, and creative artists and enables them to tell their success story and get the new clients, strategic connections, and community support they need to prosper and succeed. With our audience of more than 500,000 subscribers, 500 Inner Circle strategic partners, and the Comcast Xfinity premium promotional channels, including the Oprah Winfrey Network, BET, Lifetime, and the Hallmark Family Network. So step into the spotlight for business success right now and book your spotlight or legacy interview by calling us at 732-357-5701 or booking your reservation at www.thematthewsbroadcast.com.
Hi, I'm Mayor Baraka of Newark, reminding you to shop urban and shop local to save time and money, get a higher level of customer service, create jobs, and build stronger families and communities. This holiday season, remember to shop urban, shop local, and shop Newark.
This holiday season, remember to shop urban, shop local, and shop Newark.
Good evening. Empower Hour, presented by the Matthews Broadcast and MWC Executive Services, offers a spotlight platform for small business owners, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and artists in major metropolitan cities, encouraging buyers to shop urban, to shop small business, and to shop local. Good evening, everybody. I'm Jen Montag, your host, and I'm so excited to welcome you to this week's segment of Empower Hour Philadelphia. Philadelphia's population growth is centered around minorities, women, immigrants, and millennials. Philadelphia is among the nation's 30 largest cities, and it has the largest percent growth in these demographic groups. According to Philly Magazine contributor Suchit Bakali, there are 5 reasons why startups are setting up shop right here in Philadelphia. And the first reason, cheap rent, is just the beginning. The second reason is that the fastest growing companies live here, 12 Fortune 500 companies to be exact. Philadelphia is a close-knit startup community, large enough to compete in a global economy, but small enough for entrepreneurs to find the support that they need. Philadelphia has an abundant and a diverse talent pool of job candidates. There's no diversity like Philly's diversity. And number 5, location, location, location. Philadelphia is the second largest city on the eastern seaboard, centrally located between New York and D.C. Philadelphia was named the second best shopping city in the world by Condé Nast Traveler and regionally supports over 141,000 jobs and 200 employers. The writing is on the wall, ladies and gentlemen. The national and international spotlight is on Philadelphia as a top travel destination and hub for doing business. A diverse economy is a balanced economy, which is what brings us here tonight. Urban consumers in our tri-state have a whopping $385 billion in purchasing power. So, ask yourselves this question: how many millionaires do we directly have the power to create in this community? I'll let you do the math. And with that, I'm so excited to welcome my first interview for the evening, Dr. Patricia Scott. Dr. Patricia Scott is the founder and CEO of UMS. UMS teaches you to speak, inspire, and lead. Dr. Scott's specialty is teaching the tools to help you to speak, to lead, and to inspire. And these tools can enhance any presentation, any conversation, any negotiation, and any sales pitch. Dr. Scott has more than 15 years of corporate leadership experience. She's a national best-selling author. She's been listed as one of the top 100 leadership speakers of 2018 by Inc. magazine. She has served as lecturer in the communication program at the Wharton School of University of Pennsylvania, and she has also been featured in Forbes.com. Dr. Scott, thank you so much for being here with us this evening.
Thanks so much, Jen. It's my pleasure.
So glad to have you. Okay, so Dr. Scott, first question. So you've been an educator. You've been an educator and you've been a lecturer in the field of communications for over 15 years. So just give us like a brief overview of your career history.
Actually, I've been a communication geek for most of my life.
She's been a communication geek, guys.
I have my undergraduate degree in communication, I have my master's degree in communication, and I have my doctorate in communication. And I learned early on in my career that in today's economy, that communication is the defining skill of leadership. And it doesn't matter how smart you are, it doesn't matter how much tenure you have, if you can't get your message across, you simply can't lead other people.
So Dr. Scott, my experience has been in human resources. I've been an HR director over the last 10 years or so, and I could not agree with you more. When I think about it just from the perspective of interviewing, right? Your resume can look great. You can have all the experience in the world, but if you cannot articulate your message, if you cannot effectively sell yourself, your product, or whatever else it is that you're trying to sell, it doesn't really matter.
Absolutely. It is the defining skill of leadership. So no matter how much else you know, if you're not constantly polishing and refining your communication skills, you're going to be left behind.
Absolutely. So Dr. Scott, why, and we've touched on it a little bit, but let's go into more detail. Why is effective communication so important and so relevant to small business owners?
Well, I think that we have to understand that the communication skills that have made you so successful that you could be a business owner are unlikely to be the same skills that will keep you here. Our listeners and our audiences are constantly evolving away from us, and we know that as consumers of information. We know that we don't take things in the way we did 10 years ago. So I'll date myself here, but when I was a child and I needed information, I'd actually have to get my mother to put me in a car and take me to a library to get that information. And now if it's not in the top half of my Google search, I just abandon it. We are used to getting what we want when we want it. If I had a crystal ball 15 years ago and said, in 15 years you could get virtually any piece of information at your fingertips in less than 15 seconds, you would have thought I was crazy, right? AOL took longer than that to boot up.
Absolutely.
Now, if it says your video content will load in 12 seconds, I think, oh my goodness, 12 seconds? I might as well go get a snack or check my email. And that's the way we know that we take things in differently. But then when we go to present or we go to lead, we do it the same way we always have. So I think today's business owners are at a crossroads where we really need to start thinking about communication as a much more strategic function.
So when you think about small business owners, they have so much on their plate, right? I mean, the typical small business owner is a jack of all trades, right? We're payroll, we're finance, we're marketing, right? We're business development, we're everything, right? We can't shortchange communication. We need to be communication experts too. So talk about that a little bit, like why it's so important from the perspective of being able to generate business, being able to effectively execute a business development plan. If you don't have if you don't have superior communication skills, it's really going to make that process a lot harder.
Yeah, it's definitely changing, and it's becoming more and more important. There have been two fundamental shifts that have happened in the study of communication, and we know more about this because we understand neuroscience more than we have in the past, and we know more about communication than we have in the past, and what works and what doesn't. And I think we have to understand as small business owners and entrepreneurs these two shifts. The first one is our attention spans are shorter than they've ever been. According to the BBC, the average adult attention span today is 8 seconds.
Oh my God.
And we know that
boy.
Well, yeah, I know that's a tough one to take. But when we're on the internet, we have an average of 5 windows open at all times. And even if you've searched for 45 minutes for the article you really want to read, you will not read more than a paragraph and a half before you start to scroll, before you look for another article, before you look for another video clip, before you look for something else. So our attention span has gotten shorter and everything has collapsed except for the way we want to talk about our business. And that has gotten longer and we're just not listening. So that's really been a kind of a fundamental shift.
So then does that mean that as a small business owner, you know, if I'm sitting in front of a potential client and I'm pitching my business, my product, my company, my skill, my talent, whatever, are you saying that I have like 8 to 10 seconds to make an impression before they basically turn off their brain on me?
You do. And one step worse than that is nobody really cares about you or your tenure or your business or your product. They only care about what they need. So if you can't bridge what's in it for them with what you're pairing, they're not interested at all. So we used to say, oh, let me give you the history of this project, or let me start by beginning with context. We hate that. We don't want that. I want to know what's in it for me. How can you help solve my problem, my issue? How do you understand my business in a way that you can help serve that goal?
And on top of that, not to get into Myers-Briggs type theory, even though that is, I eat, sleep, and breathe MBTI, but, you know, when you think about decision makers, they all have different personalities, right? Some of them, they just want the data, they just want the facts, right? Some of them, they want you to identify with how they feel, what their long-term vision is, Some of them are very transactional, like just give me the information now. So not only do you have to be a strong communicator, but you have to be able to flex your communication style to the needs of your decision maker. It can get really complex.
Yeah, it's all about them all the time. And even if you say somebody, oh, they like the softer, the more genteel, open, you know, more of that, that really isn't true either. We all want you to get to the point, and we need you to get there very fast. And then you can ask more questions, but at the outset, we want you to get to the point, and I want to know what's in it for me. And that's the skill I think that's really missing.
So Dr. Scott, how do you help people to get to the point? How do you help leaders to fine-tune their communication skills? What is your approach to doing that?
I've created an acronym that I think people find very helpful, and that's called the ACORN. And it came one day, I was looking out my window as I was procrastinating and not doing what I was supposed to be doing, and I saw squirrels in my yard. And I thought, oh my gosh, look at them. They're crazy. They're sporadic. They're jumping all over the place. And I thought, oh, they're my MBA students, and there's my husband, and there's my daughter. And they were crazy. And I thought, that's exactly how we are. We're jumping from one thing to another, from the phone to the TV to the computer to the iPad. And then I saw one of them pick up an acorn. And that squirrel sat like a statue until that entire acorn had been eaten. So it went from a 1-second attention span on normal things to 4 minutes when it had an acorn. 23,900% increase in attention span. And I thought, that's what we need for our listeners. We need to give them an acorn. So I've come up with this acorn communication strategy. The A, C, O, R, and N are 5 buckets of tools that you could put to any conversation, negotiation, sales call. And we teach this to mid-level managers to be peer-to-peer. It works on husbands. It works.
Ooh.
Don't tell him. Is he going to?
He'll
probably see this.
there?
Yeah. But it works on husbands, not so much on teenagers. That's a different audience. But it's one of those things where as you start to throw more tools at the communication, we now know what makes messages stick. We know how you could be more concise. We know what we want to hear first. We know the order of the message. We understand credibility. So it's a toolbox that we teach our sales folks and our middle managers to help them get a couple of the tools that they need to compete in this ever-changing communication environment that we find ourselves in.
Dr. Scott, why would you encourage a small business owner, entrepreneur, thought leader to use you?
I think what sets UMS apart is it's not, oh, I've done this for 20 years and I think this is how this works. Everything that we've done comes from research. I am a geek. I am a doctor. And we know what's in the neuroscience literature. We understand what's in the journals, what has been proven scientifically to work better with our brains, what messages resonate more. And so I think I was a corporate leader before that, so I have the business background, but I also have the academics that bolster our knowledge. So it's not what I think works, it's what we now know works. And we just have to decode the academics and put them into practice. And I think that's something that our company does very well.
Dr. Scott, how can you be reached, and what are you offering in turn for viewer support this evening?
Yeah, you can reach us at www.ums, that's UHMMS.com. We are on LinkedIn, we're online, and, you know, as we do courses for corporations, we do everything from stand-up mechanics of public speaking, you know, making sure you have good eye contact, making sure you have good posture, all the way to more strategic functions in slide presentations or in conversations for sales or for middle management. So we have a variety of offerings, but it's not a kind of a menu of things. We would love to hear about what your needs are and really trying to figure out what's in it for you and bridge that gap.
I think I need to use Dr. Scott because I know I've said at least 25 times over the last
I'm not counting.
minutes. So, I mean, if I need the help, everybody out there, you need the help too. Don't just rely on your own skills, on what you think is a strength. UHMMS.com, and Dr. Scott can help you to drive revenue, to be more effective and to be clearer in your communication. Call her. She can help you guaranteed. Dr. Scott, it was so great to have you on the show this evening.
Thank you so much, Jen.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. We're back with Empower Hour on the Stan Matthews broadcast platform. If you are just tuning in, we are here. It is Wednesday evening. We are taping live our weekly segment. I'm Jen Montag, your host of Empower Hour, and I am here with three extraordinary thought leaders who are pioneering the way in financial services, skincare and cosmetics, and insurance of all types. So to my right, I have Ralph Henderson, CFO of the Matthews broadcast. To my immediate left, I have Marquita Robinson Garcia, founder and CEO of Divinity Skincare, providing natural, plant-based skincare solutions and regimens that can be custom formulated to solve for an array of skincare issues. And lastly, to my far left, I have Diane Smith, insurance specialist with State Farm Insurance, providing insurance and financial services. Thank you all so much for being here this evening. So I'm going to start with Marquita. Marquita, I cannot say enough about the Divinity Skincare line. Guys, viewers out there, not only are the ingredients derived from natural plants, nuts, seeds, oils, and botanicals that leave your skin feeling rejuvenated, but clients of Divinity actually have the opportunity to design their skincare products in her lab. So let's just talk about that for a second. So, I mean, this is not like your typical, like, go to a department store and pick the stuff off the shelf. Like, you literally are allowing people to formulate their own skincare products. How does that work?
Right. So before I start, I did want to say thank you for having me today. I'm super privileged to be on Empower Hour. I feel empowered this hour.
Good, you should.
So yeah, I started off as a chemist, actually, for beauty care, a beauty care formulator. And that's where my passion kind of started. From there, I went into the industry as a business development professional. So I have some products there. And what I learned is so many people don't really understand the science behind the beauty care and some of the secrets there. And so my dream was to share that, you know, how can we show and truly experience not just beauty care, just about covering up, but also about getting under and finding that beauty from within. So that's how I kind of got started with the whole idea of opening up a lab, creating the experience where consumers can actually learn more about the science behind beauty care, pick out their ingredients. I mean, think about it. Customization is everywhere today.
I've never heard of anything like that before, honestly.
Well, maybe not in beauty care.
Being able to go to your lab and to pick out my own products and have them formulated, that's outstanding. So tell me about what's in this bag.
So in this bag, I have a few things. So that one is the hair care gloss, but actually our best seller is the Flower Girl. It's the women
Look
from
how
our women's
gorgeous
collection.
This is.
Yeah.
So are these real flowers that are inside the
They're
bottle?
real. We use jasmine and rosebuds, but we kind of use whatever we can get our hands on, depending on what's in season. But there, this particular blend is made with almond oil. There's aloe and vitamin E, and then it's enhanced with lang lang, geranium, and lavender.
Wow, that's fantastic. And this is an all-natural face and body oil.
That's the all natural face and body oil.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit, so just briefly, what are all of the different products that are available through your skincare line? So are there eye creams, anti-aging?
Right.
Give us like an overview.
So for the most part, you'll just find the natural moisturizers and products to actually condition your skin. We also have hair and scalp oils as well, but it's all about natural. So I personally don't like the claim anti-aging. I think aging is perfectly fine and we should all do it gracefully and look forward to our wiser years. So it's all about really embracing every phase of life, whatever that is. And creating that natural look and embracing your natural look. So you'll find products that'll be good for sun repair, for example. If you need something more nourishing, if you have drier skin, you'll have something. If you have oily skin, there's actually natural oils, which a lot of people don't realize, but there's natural oils that can combat oily skin and combination skin to prevent breakouts and acne breakouts.
And all of the Definity skincare products are plant-based, correct?
Every product is plant-based. It's 100% natural.
Oh,
so there's no sometimes you'll see 100% aloe, and they can put that on there because even though there may only be 1% aloe vera in a particular formula, it's 100%. The 1% that's in there is 100%.
Allows them to claim it.
That's not the case here. It's literally 100%. And that's the whole idea of getting in the lab, because guess what? You don't have to worry about that middleman. You don't have to worry about the shelf. As a formulator, we had to make sure the products would last on the shelf anywhere from 3 to 4 years. So when you pick up something off of retail or the department store, you don't know how long it's been there before you bought it. At Divinity, you will be sitting right there making it. It'll be fresh, made to order.
So cool.
So
That is so incredibly impressive. Guys out there, if you're listening, viewers, Divinity Skincare, plant-based beauty and cosmetic line, all natural. Literally, you can formulate your own products for your skin. How can we contact you?
Oh, my phone number is 215-520-5449. And then if you want to be a little less invasive, you could always follow us at Divinity Skincare. That's spelled DVINITI Skincare, or divinity.com, spelled the same way. DivinitySkincare.com, guys. That is my skincare line. I encourage all of you to reach out to Miss Marquita Robinson Garcia and check it out. So I want to add to this conversation Ralph Henderson. Ralph is CFO of the Matthews Broadcast. So we're going to spend a little bit of time this evening having Ralph give us an understanding of the inner workings of the Inner Circle broadcast and what are the benefits of being in the Matthews Broadcast Inner Circle. So why don't we start with that? What are the benefits of being a part of the Matthews Broadcast Inner Circle, and what is that?
Well, thank you, Jen. Being a member of the Inner Circle Broadcast is basically being a member of a group of people who are dedicated to the successful execution of all of your business visions and goals. So as a member, you get to be in a group of people who can look at your service and see if this is service that they require, and you get the right of first refusal from the membership. So suppose you need your house painted. We will refer you to a house painter, and they will offer you a very good deal as an Inner Circle member. And the function of this is you to refer business to them as they successfully complete the project that you assign to them. And we try to focus on professional areas and get people to establish their businesses and come into the circle and participate in the meetings and meet all the other members as they come in. We encourage our hosts to fill rooms like these with people who would be interested in participating, and we try to get you to join. We have a marketing campaign that we can employ. We have a advertising campaign that we can employ. And we try to give you the best rate possible to get an actual TV commercial on one of the largest media companies in the world, Comcast.
So that's right. So that's a really important part. So being a part of the Matthews broadcast inner circle, so there are opportunities for you to spotlight your small business on cable television, BET, the Oprah Winfrey Network, Lifetime, VH1, MSNBC for very, very reduced rates. So, I mean, anything that we can possibly do to help to drive business, that is what we're going to do.
Yes, so we, my personal roles and responsibility are to be creative and trying to get our influence expanded and the network expanded. I'm always trying to talk to people who are willing to invest or join the inner circle. And so when I meet people, I ask them what their business is, and if they are entrepreneurs, I'll suggest to them, hey, maybe you should take a look at the Matthews broadcast. I'll send them to the website, and I will encourage any business owner to be on the broadcast, to be interviewed by one of our hosts, especially this one to my left. And because we really want your business to have exposure, a positive experience, and a positive media vision, so you can go out and meet people, and it gives you somewhat of a little bit of credibility moving forward, so you can discuss what you can offer to a consumer or another business.
That's wonderful. So, Ralph, how can interested prospective Inner Circle members contact you?
Well, you can email me. I'm ralph.e.henderson@gmail.com. But I would recommend strongly you just go to the matthewsbroadcast.com, and it has a litany of things that we have available, along with a newsletter you can sign up for. And it'll also take you to the Inner Circle's website, where you can see what we do as members of the Inner Circle. So we meet once a week after the broadcast. And the reason we do the broadcast is to refer business. We don't do the broadcast to get on TV. That's a nice little benefit for some of us. What we do the broadcast for is to generate interest in the referral business part of the evening. So after every broadcast, we have a reception, and we sit down and we refer business. And if you know somebody who you want to refer business to, we have a business referral form. We keep track of all the business that goes back and forth. So you can come and ask us, hey, how many people have I referred business to, or has referred business to me? And we also like to keep track of what that turns into in terms of dollars for your business. And we encourage people to make sure that you give, you receive. You give, you receive.
That's
So
awesome.
we encourage you to give as many referrals as you can, because people will do the same for you, whatever your business is. And we have a very large number of eclectic businesses. I didn't even know people did some of the stuff that we do, or at least small businesses. You know, I didn't know that a lot of us are very ambitious in our business goals and in our passions. So I would highly recommend you consider very strongly joining the Matthews broadcast and the Inner Circle Network, so that you can be a part of what we do every week. And you don't have to show up every week. We would encourage it, but when you can get here, we would like you to sit down, enjoy the broadcast, and then refer business. If you know people that you'd like to get in touch with and become business partners with them, or have a consumer relationship with them, consumer business relationship with them, come to the broadcast. Let's get your needs recorded on our referral forms and get you out there. If you're having problems with exposure, we have some mechanisms at our disposal that we can invoke to help you get started and get your face and your business out there in a very, very positive light.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you, Jen.
Let's add, very good, very good. Let's add Diane Smith to this conversation. Hi, Diane.
Hello. Hi, Jen.
So Diane is our last and final guest for the evening, but she is definitely not least. Diane, insurance is probably one of the most misunderstood transactions, yet one of the most critical protections to have. But usually the one that we think we can skimp on, and then something drastic occurs, and then we're up a creek. So let's talk about insurance for a little while. Let's talk about State Farm. Let's talk about what you do. What are some of the insurance solutions that you recommend specifically for small business owners?
Well, specifically for small business owners, because a lot of small business owners, number one, they don't have business insurance in place. I ask a lot of my customers,
You'd be surprised.
you know, how are you in business and you have no business insurance in place until something tragic, like you just mentioned, Jen, happens. And then when that happens, it's too late. So understanding your exposures, understanding exactly what your business has to offer, and making sure that you have the correct and the adequate coverage in place.
Diane, let's just dissect that for a minute. So if you are a small business owner and you don't have adequate insurance, adequate business insurance, what are some of the things that could happen?
You could be sued by anyone, especially, you know, hair salons. State Farm, we actually insure, that's one of our companies. So hair salons, something like, you know, you're doing a perm or a relaxer, you get a burn, that individual, that client can sue you. If you don't have the adequate coverage, you could be out of business immediately, dealing with having to pay all of these fees and liability costs out of your own pocket. So that's already putting you in the hole. So insurance, having that in place, is making sure that it just does that. It protects you. So it's important to have that protection in place and understanding exactly, again, what your business is. So coming to not just me, I tell anyone, you don't have to come and have State Farm insurance, but make sure that you have the right coverage in place to protect your business.
That's wonderful. So if someone, if a small business owner identifies that they need insurance, or they need more insurance, or they need a different kind of insurance, what should they do? Like, should they go directly to like the State Farm website, and should they kind of hunt and peck around on their own, or any insurance website? Should they go to the website and attempt to kind of troubleshoot and research on their own? Should they just kind of cut to the chase and immediately speak to a representative like you that can, you know, very quickly get them to the need, or to the solution to the need? What do you think is the best way to go about it?
I think the best way, because, you know, there's so much information out there on the web, but it may not be the accurate information. So if you have someone that you can go to, whether it's your agent, someone that you're working directly with, that's what you want to do. You want to go to someone who's the professional, who can actually lead you and guide you to be able to make sure that, again, you have that adequate coverage in place to prevent anything happening in the future. So
aside from small business insurance, what are the other insurance-based solutions that you specialize in?
Well, State Farm, of course, we have auto insurance, we have homeowners, renters insurance, as well as life insurance. You know, that's another product where a lot of individuals, it's not really about just having a $1 million policy in place. Do you really need that $1 million policy? So understanding, again, the need of the customer. So having that conversation with State Farm, we have what we call simple conversations. So understanding the customer's, wants and their needs and their goals. Are you planning to buy a house? Are you planning for retirement? Are you planning for college for kids? So all of those things are important, and making a determination as far as like exactly what you need in place. State Farm, we also have annuities, so we have a plethora of products.
Now that's a really good point, Diane. Insurance should be, it's not a standalone thing, in my opinion. It's something that should be a part of a broader, more comprehensive conversation. So it is about your goals, right? It is about your objectives. It is about what you are looking to achieve, right? Mm-hmm. If you're planning for college, or if you are trying to strategize around retirement, just saving in general, don't leave insurance out of the picture. Don't decide that that's the one thing that you're not going to address, because truly it all goes together. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And even with life insurance, when we have discussions about life insurance, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to talk about death. Well, it doesn't have to be a discussion about death. Life insurance can be a living benefit because you have cash value that grows, your death benefit grows. So there's so many other things that can go. But again, it's sitting down, having that conversation. It's an uncomfortable conversation, but have the conversation, get it out of the way, and live life.
You don't want to be without it.
You don't want to be without it.
And just to add one final point to that, a very close friend of mine, passed away a couple of years ago. She was very ill, and she did not have all of the insurance coverage that she needed to have. And as a result of that, her dependents were left without everything that they needed. It can happen at any time, right? Life happens to everybody. Don't be the only one that doesn't have the kind of coverage that they need. Diane, how can we contact you at State Farm?
You can contact us directly in the office, 973-337-8507. You can also go to our website, mysfagentdiane.com, and there you can also click a link to send an email if you like.
Marquita Robinson Garcia, founder of Divinity Skincare, www.divinity.com. Ralph Henderson, CFO of the Matthews Broadcast, www.thematthewsbroadcast.com. Inner Circle, everybody. And Diane Smith, insurance specialist with State Farm Insurance. Diane at MySF for State Farm Agent.com.
And you can always reach us also on Facebook.
Wonderful.
LinkedIn. We're there.
Awesome.
Find us.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Stan Matthews, host of the Matthews TV broadcast and founder of the Inner Circle Professional Network. It takes a village to raise a child and a community to build healthy, wealthy businesses, professional practices, and community organizations. The Matthews TV broadcast enables urban consumers like you to support urban business owners, professionals, nonprofits, and community organizations that provide career opportunities, create jobs, and make urban communities great places to live, work, and raise a family. So please continue to watch the Whole Person, Whole Community broadcast on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. at www.thematthewsbroadcast.com. And oh yeah, tell 10 friends to watch the broadcast too. Heartfelt thanks for your continued friendship and support. The Matthews TV broadcast spotlights urban business owners, professionals, nonprofits, and creative artists and enables them to tell their success story and get the new clients, strategic connections, and community support they need to prosper and succeed. With our audience of more than 500,000 subscribers, 500 Inner Circle strategic partners, and the Comcast Xfinity premium promotional channels, including the Oprah Winfrey Network, BET, Lifetime, and the Hallmark Family Network. So step into the spotlight for business success right now and book your spotlight or legacy interview by calling us at 732-357-5701 or booking your reservation at www.thematthewsbroadcast.com.
Hi, I'm Mayor Frank Moran of the great city of Camden, reminding you to shop urban and shop local to save time and money, get a higher level of customer service, create jobs, and build stronger families and communities. This holiday season, remember to shop urban and shop local, shop Camden.
This holiday season, remember, shop urban, shop local, and shop Camden.